And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in this week.
Namaskar and welcome. And once again, it's that time of the week when we have with us Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh right here in ITV Gold Studios. Namaskar, Dr. Parikh. How are you?
Namaskar, everyone.
So, Dr. Parikh, today let's start with the Trump's reciprocal tariffs. So, it has sent like shock waves, like globally, and it has created like adverse reactions and tumbled global stock markets. What went wrong?
No, it didn't went wrong, but only thing is because it was kind of, he went too far to put the reciprocal thing, and when you put the reciprocal thing, it upsets the whole economy structure of the world, because currently world is in different kind of format. So that's the reason why people don't know what's next. And people, because they don't know what is next, they all are kind of, because nobody likes change in their life.
Okay.
If everything is moving smoothly, why to change something, you know?
Right.
But what President Trump is saying that this moving wrong way, because USA is losing a lot of money out of that. So we have to do something. And in order to do something, he did this drastic thing, and this thing you have to do kind of drastic, otherwise it has no impact on it. People will not do it willingly or by negotiation. So you have to give them little kind of shock in order to do it. And as you can see, that today market was up almost 4%. So that shows that underlying our economy is very good. So we don't have to worry about, even though people are talking about recession and stagnation, nothing will happen. Because all the companies are still, you will see that next week when they will come out of the earning, they all are doing well. So economy is good. Interest rate is going down. Actually, after tariff declaration, 10 years treasury bill went down from 4.5 to 3.9.
Okay.
So money is getting cheaper. And I'm sure that Fed will cut the rate, and that will help the people, and they're going to have in Congress personal tax reform, and which will help each and every individual.
So, I was just going through newspaper in the morning and I see this, China. Each and every country kind of, is trying to negotiate the tariff. But China is not. Why
No,
is that?
China is not, because China is a very strong country, right? China is kind of number 2 in the world, in economically speaking, because our USA economy is 30 trillion, and China's is 18 trillion, so they are number 2. And rest of them, people are very far off. I mean, Japan is 5 trillion, and India is 3 trillion. So there are no way close to these two big economy. So China wants to establish their economic kind of say in the world, and they want to dictate to everyone. And USA wants to do the same thing. And China is getting benefit because of USA, whatever they export to the USA, the USA tariff is very small on the Chinese goods, because all these things started by USA to start manufacturing there, because the labor was cheap and everything. And now we realize that it is not a good idea, because unless the tariff and all those things has to be reciprocally equal. It's not equal. So that's why what will happen is, I think President Trump says very nicely that since he declared this thing last Thursday, the interest rate is down, money is cheap, to borrow. Um, and then we'll get almost $6 trillion extra from the every year from the other countries. So we are from day one we will be making money without, even though manufacturing may take long time, but so what? We get, as long as we get 6 trillion every year, that will cut our deficit into the half, So, I mean, both, I mean, it depends how you look at it.
But talking about China, and I saw today that it will be like 100 and it's said like the tariff, it's set to rise to like 104% on China since it missed the deadline. That is what they are saying.
that is
so do you
again
think it will be resolved or?
No, yeah, it will be resolved because that's a negotiating trip, because he put the 34, so now President say I'm going to put 54 or 100%, So, but they will, I mean, look at that, all other countries, including Japan, started talking with the USA. If USA not done this 10% even on Japan or European countries, they would not would have come themselves to say, okay, just adjust the 10% and we'll also adjust from 25% to 10% or something for you. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So now everybody is kind of started talking now again. Because what China used to do is, China's tariff was 26 or 30, something 50% or 36%, I don't know. So they used to sell to Vietnam, and because Vietnam tariff was 0, and then Vietnam used to sell to America. So who is loser? America.
Right.
So that's what was happening in the world.
So,
Just like what India did, we bought cheap oil from the Russia, we refined it and we sold it double price to the Europe.
right.
So that is also also not kosher.
Okay. And I don't know if you saw this Goldman Sachs report, they increased our probability of hitting recession by 45%, and so do other financial leaders. So tell me, as a consumer, what impact will we see?
No, in short term, it might increase prices of the certain goods, but not the goods which you use every day. Not like gasoline price or price of your home where you are staying or rent is not going to go up, or food items will not go up. I mean, some item may go up, but
They are already up now.
yeah, so I don't think it will go up that much. And if they cut the interest rate, then everything will drop again. So it all depends on what happens. I mean, economists always predict all this thing by looking at the charts and models. But they are also not right, because there are 4 economists will say 4 different things. One will say there is a recession, other one will say there is a stagnation. President economists will say no, there is nothing will happen. So you don't know who is right.
So it's just the time will tell?
Time will tell.
All right. And my other question is the world. It was flat with economy becoming very global and interconnected. So are we heading to a much more local economies with current world leaders, only thinking about their country first?
No, I think, but everybody is thinking about that. Suppose if China charges 80% tariff on American goods, and which America charges 4%, so is it fair? No. So it has to be at least not equal, but at least close to equal. Same thing, India used to charge, India used to ban the American car for many years. American electrical car and any other car. And the car in India, they used to tariff 100%.
Right.
So it means your car becomes double, so it's hard to sell in the Indian market. So that is also not right thing, right? So now they opened up everything. So I mean, of course, it was good for certain countries, developing countries and everything, but for developed country like European countries, China, Australia, Canada, they can afford to pay a fair share of the tariff to the other country too, including America. And then the global economy will work. It was working smoothly and will work more smoothly. Actually, it was not working smoothly because people were conducting or going around kind of different route to get to the less tariff, and that is also not fair fair economy.
Okay. But do we see, like, in this context, like world bodies like WTO, WHO, even UNO losing relevance? Like,
No. Yeah, everything will remain the same. Remember, 5 years ago when COVID came, everybody was saying that China introduced COVID to the world. China is responsible for that. Their laboratory is responsible for that, and nothing happened. People forgot about it.
right,
That China was culprit, and China was culprit because from the lab that virus came out through the bats, the animal bats, and then but they never confessed themselves, and WHO never inquired seriously because they wanted to just you know. People forget about the whole thing. That's what happened, and nobody got punished, or nobody paid price for that.
Right. So let's now talk about Elon Musk. You know, he is supposed to leave Doge, and he does not seem to be like happy with the impact of tariffs on his business or wealth. So is this like partnership going to be like somewhat, have like rough weathers, or do you think that he is going to be there and stay
I think he's going to be there as an advisor.
Okay.
He doesn't care about. I mean, his assets drop from 500 billion to 400 billion, but that doesn't make any difference because that's temporary drop, and then he will pick up. So he's not living because of his business is suffering.
Right.
He's living because now whatever work he wants to do, he did it. He got his Tesla introduced into the Asia, including India now. He did a Starlink's business, satellite business introduced in India with Ambani and Mittal. So he got whatever he wanted to do. And he still will be advising Trump, but not very high profile way, because that way doesn't come into the kind of people's mind that he's still there and he's not elected person and all those things.
Okay. So let's talk about even India. You know, India took many good steps with Modi ji's visit to US and their minister Piyush Goyal's, working on the trade deal with Washington DC. So tell me, how is India positioned for this madness?
No, India will suffer.
Okay.
In short term, because in India's economy will go down. India's market in last 2 days went down 19,000 crore rupees, which is almost like a 20 billion plus dollar. So I think Indian market will suffer. Of course, a lot of banks in India may have challenges and trouble. And the common person, those who are for last 5-10 years investing in stock market and middle class, they were relying on that income for their own day-to-day life, will be suffering. And India, all the goods will be very expensive because of the tariff. So I think not only India, but India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, every country will suffer.
Right. And, as you are saying, India is definitely seeing a lot of impact. And, of course,
and
people are
the economists in India, they are predicting that GDP will go. I mean, we used to have last year 8%. Now, this year, they are predicting 6%. And if because of the tariff, it may go down to another 1%. Oh. So that's a big blow to Indian economy.
But do you think, like, should Modi ji and, his senior cabinet be addressing the people and take this issue like head on? In addition
they should actually. That's why I think in last few days, their government is really intervening into what's happening in the stock market and what's happening into the bank borrowing situation and so forth. And I'm sure they will be proactive and try to kind of help Indian economy to not to slide too much.
All right. So now let's go to our favorite rapid fire round. The first question is from Shrishti from California. She is saying that Prime Minister Modi's roadmap is laid out with the help of AI. Is the use of artificial intelligence in planning India's next 25 years a positive step for the country's development?
Of course, the role of the AI always going to be a positive step, and it is not only positive step, but everyone has to use AI in order to become more productive, less expensive, and more methodical. So I think everyone is going to use AI. But still, again, real full force of AI you will see after 5-6 years, not now.
But do you think like using AI is as good as human brain?
Of course not. You
Yes.
cannot replace human brain at all. No.
Okay. Kuldeep from Atlanta wants to know, will Elon Musk step down from Doge?
I don't think he's officially stepped down, but I think probably he's saying that his work is done and probably he's winding down that way. But I think he will be still will be advisor to President Trump and very close to the President Trump inner circle.
Okay. Mira from New Jersey is asking, is the reported rift between President Trump and the tech leaders over tariffs a cause for concern? Yes or no?
Probably not, because most of the tech companies are manufacturing things in China and selling us to here. So that's what we started in 1975. So now, if President Trump put the more tariff in made in anything made outside USA, then of course they are not happy.
All right. So the last question, this is from me to you. Is a daily glass of wine healthy?
I don't think so. I mean, people are saying, I mean, there are some studies came out by wine industries that 1 or 2 glass of wine every day helps heart, but at the same time it damages the liver. So and kidney. So whether which one will damage in particular person, we don't know. So I don't think it's a good thing, but I think it's not very harmful thing either if somebody takes a glass of wine, but not the Indian style. Most of our Indian people, they drink whole full glass of the wine. Means they fill up to the rim. Actually,
A glass has to be a glass, not a big glass.
no, glass, even big, the wine glass cannot be filled out up to the
Full.
rim.
Yeah.
That is wrong thing. We all Indian, most of Indian does it. Usually it should not be more than 30 cc inside. It means right into the lower bottom of the rim, not the top bottom of the rim.
All right.
So that's where wine has to be drink. And if you drink that kind of size of the wine, then I think probably you can enjoy more. I mean, you may feel better if you like the wine, but I'm not sure that whether it is not proven scientifically 100% that it does prevent heart problem.
All right. So once again, for our viewers, before you give out your this week's message, I want to remind all of you that you can always follow Dr. Sudhir Parikh on Facebook at Dr. Parikh, and you can also follow him on Twitter. The handle is SUDPARIKH. Please go ahead.
Well, dear friends, I'm sure you all are those who are invested heavily or even moderately in the stock market. They all are probably getting a little nervous because they can see their retirement account is dropping. All the saving, hard work is kind of evaporating. So, but do not worry about this thing. This is a temporary thing, and it will bounce back because the fact that underlying U.S. economy is very strong, and the trillions of dollars for all the big companies are not going anywhere, and they are doing well. So I think everything will turn around. So don't sell into this kind of falling market, because if you sell now, then probably you will lose. And as long as you don't sell, then this is a great opportunity within next 2-3 weeks. It's a great opportunity to buy, and because there are only 10 days comes in every year, where you buy the stock, good stock or selective stock, then you make a lot of money out of it. So be patient, don't be worried about it, and you will be winner. Thank you.